Hey, good afternoon, Ken and Chris. Andy Dastra here, President of North American. Thanks so much for joining. Chris, do you want to introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, my name is Kristina George. I've been an agent for a few years now, and now I own an agency and have other agents underneath me.
Terrific. Ken?
Okay, my name's Kenneth Goltz. I've been with Chris's team since October of 2020, but I've been in this crazy business about 32 years now. Picked up a few, I'm still learning, I still got a bit to learn yet.
As we all do, but I wanted to thank you guys for joining me. And the reason I specifically asked the two of you to join me on this call was because of the tremendous results that you guys have had, both in selling ACA plans, which you guys have been doing for a while, so maybe that's kind of yesterday's news. But I think the more interesting thing that I wanted to share is why and how you guys are stacking all these ancillary products on top of your ACA sales with the same clients. So how are you guys doing it? How can other agents do it? Why have you been able to do that so successfully and consistently where not all the other agents have figured it out? Chris, we'll start with you. I mean, you're the godfather of stacking on ACA plans. You've probably been doing it longer than anybody in our organization. What's your secret?
It's knowing ahead of time what the products are. You got to know them like kind of inside and out so that in the conversation when I'm talking to somebody, I can say, all right, especially if they say, oh, that's a lot, right? You hear that, oh, here's your max out of pocket. Oh, that's a lot. And so then you go, yep, and I got a solution for you. And you can just go, you can tell them as opposed to, oh, maybe let me see if I can find something, you just tell them. I mean, they're telling you what their pain point is. Maybe it's the deductible, maybe it's the out of pocket, maybe it's prescriptions. They're going to tell you what the pain point is. And if you don't know all the products that you can offer, it's a lot harder to come back later and say, hey, by the way, I got something for you, because now they've lived without it and they're fine. Right. They forget that pain point until something bad happens. And then they're like, so it's really knowing them.
What are some of your favorite products to stack on ACA? Because a lot of your ACA carriers are like local Wisconsin-based carriers. Correct. So You're not selling any ancillary with those guys. Usually they don't have anything.
Correct. Yep.
So
one of my absolute favorites is the Philadelphia American Gap policy. That one is the easiest to explain to people. They get it. You go, okay. I mean, I'll compare the bronze plan and a gold plan on the marketplace, going, all right, you could pay more and your deductible goes down a tiny bit, maybe the out of pocket. But I go, wait, if we put the gap on, I'm giving you better than the gold plan by paying 50% of all outpatient and 100% of inpatient of whatever policy you buy. And it's still cheaper than the silver plan. And so, I mean, that a couple of years ago, which is where most of my business went to, I'd say 80% of people took that gap policy, unless they had a large amount in their own HSA, because most people don't have that. You end up in the hospital tomorrow, you're both in a car accident and 16,000 out of pocket. What's not going to hurt you, right? And people, oh, yeah, okay. So the Philadelphia Gap, and now we are trying to figure out how to leverage either Philadelphia or Manhattan, the hospital indemnity plans. Almost make our Molina policy here in Wisconsin that has a zero deductible pay for all the copays. So it's almost an even Steven. So you're like, you can pay $130 for this indemnity plan, maybe $100 or less for your insurance, and you don't even have any out of pocket because the copays would even be covered.
Oh wow! Now, Ken, you've been at this a little bit shorter amount of time. Tell me a little bit about, in terms of working with Chris and in this model, tell me a little bit about what you're experiencing. You've been doing this for 6, 8 months, 10 months. Tell me about some of your experiences so far.
I'm finding that more and more, a lot of people are, when they hear about those higher deductibles and those higher copays, yeah, they're developing a quick allergy to them. It's always a big concern. So my follow, a lot of them is with the plan through, with some of the plans through Manhattan Life, their hospital indemnity plan, also with having the outpatient rider, having the accident rider for the little boo-boos. But the other thing people are doing, and this is something Chris set up for us, is that we actually, every customer that comes in here has to have an intake form. And they're actually telling us about a lot of those pain points right then and there. And all you have to do is just pretty much read it and you can go right to that. And when you're showing them that value, Chris, showing them, yeah, I can take, we can take that Molina zero deductible, which we enroll a lot of people in, and turn that thing into an almost zero out of pocket policy, which is zero deductible is almost unheard of. And having something where all your out of pockets are covered, I mean, that's basically, you end up in the hospital, you just get well, somebody, because it doesn't matter whose pocket the money comes out of. It has to come out of a pocket. Why not somebody else's pocket than yours?
You know, the funny thing is, I hear you guys talk, and I haven't heard either of you talking about subsidies and premiums going down to really low amounts. It doesn't sound like you're selling ACA just based on the price.
No, absolutely not. The price evidently obviously can be a factor if somebody is in low income and you can go, guess what, I can get you insurance for nothing. I love doing that, but that's not the selling part of ACA. I realized when people come under 65, it's very different than Medicare, right? Medicare, they're confused, they know they need it, but they don't know what it means, and you kind of have to steer them out of the chaos. But when it's under 65, they're more resigned. They know they need it. Oh, it's going to cost a lot, and they just, you know, like they come in and they're not as confused. They're just like, well, find me what you can. So it's not the price. It really isn't. The marketplace just makes it easy when it's underneath. They're like, because they're expecting to pay thousands, and we're like, oh, it's going to be $500. So we don't really talk. I never market the price when we talk about it. Advertising, we never say anything about the price, because that's not really, I mean, that's just like the icing. It's not, you know, they know they need insurance. So the price is just the extra. And Ken is like the king of dental and vision. I was told at Manhattan, his sales alone was 3 of your top agents combined. He still sold more. So
yeah, so look, I want to talk about that.
Yeah, we say, would you like dental or vision? So he looks, they say they want it. He doesn't ever skip saying, do you want some dental and vision? All right, let's talk about it, you know.
Wait. That's it? That's the secret you just asked?
Yeah.
Oh, I was expecting something much more complicated than that.
No, most of the people are pretty much telling you that, even if they're not saying it in words. Those are 2 things that everybody wants, because if they're losing group coverage, those are 2 things that that everybody's used to.
So I don't understand. And I agree with, if you look at every survey that's out there about our industry, dental is one of the most highly requested products from consumers.
Yep.
What is it that's got into agents' heads that they don't bring it up? Why do you think there's a mental block there? When the consumer says, yes, I want this and I want to pay for it, and an agent for some reason just isn't asking the simple, hey, do you want dental question? What do you think?
It tends to be because too many agents are viewing it from their perspective. Well, I have pretty good teeth, I'll just pay cash. But clients aren't thinking that. This is what I've had. I like my dental. I use it. It's one of the ones that they use often more than health insurance, right? And so I've had agents that I've even worked with that will talk people out of it. Well, no, you know, it'll be cheaper. I'm like, yeah, if you have good teeth, it's cheaper. But how many times we get people walking in going, oh, I need dental insurance right now. And I'm thinking, yeah, somebody should have offered to them before, you know. And so dental, I don't know why not. If they want it, it's a value add. Now, they may change their mind. They can come to their own conclusion. Hey, for 3 years, I've had nothing but cleanings, and it said, I'll just pay out of cash. Okay, but why do we talk them into that? I don't understand that, or we just ignore it.
One last question for you guys, because I think this is something agents also really need to understand, is the income opportunity. What are you guys experiencing? You don't have to get specifics, but just in terms of what you experience in terms of the income opportunity by stacking health plans or just selling ACA as a standalone.
Well, Ken, you've started getting your commissions now, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm seeing that things are becoming a lot easier to afford for me. I mean, I could write a ton of ACAs and I'll get a few bucks out of it, and it'll be pretty steady. But it's nice when you can write something like this and you've got a higher commission rate right out of the box. Plus, again, you've also statistically, if you have more than 1 policy in the household, I think the magic number is 4. You get to 4, you're irreplaceable. You're their advisor. So you pretty much, you know, short of moving in and having a spot at the dinner table, you're their guy. And they're and when they're doing that, they're more likely to send somebody, and you're very likely to get that phone call from somebody you've never heard of saying, hey, this person told me to do that. And I don't know about anyone else, but I've always felt that's probably the biggest compliment I ever got, when I get an unsolicited phone call and someone says, hey, my friend told me to give you a call.
Love it. I love it. Chris, anything in parting that you wanted to share?
Well, I have a lot of ACA clients, as you know, over 600, and I make more from the, let's just say 20% extras that I sell than I do from the 600 clients, the extra commissions. You know, it's not hard to add it, and it's a value add to them. I mean, I've had people call me, thank you. One lady called me, said, thank you for selling me that, for, you know, she said, for forcing us to buy that Gap. And then she went, okay, you didn't force us, but you recommended it, and he had a stroke 3 months after they had gotten it, and they didn't have to pay anything but $50 out of their pocket. So, you know, people aren't usually mad, and they may later say, I don't need this. Maybe they're looking at their finances, but they're never going, why'd you sell me this? You know, they know why. You told them.
I love the approach, guys. I love the idea of satisfying client needs as your primary focus. That's the way to make your clients happy, make them stick with you, generate referral prospects, and make a great living. I mean, love the formula. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for joining.